So we are live on YouTube.
Thank you. Alrighty, so good evening, everybody. It's Tuesday, April 26th. Hopefully everybody's doing well, 2022, sorry. I guess we'll start with the opening of the meeting. So if I could get a mover and a seconder that the committee approve the agenda of April 26th, 2022 as circulated. Somebody to Maggie to move it. And a seconder, Jessica. Okay, moved by Maggie, second by Jessica, that the committee approved the agenda of April 26th, 2022 as circulated. All in favor? So B, adoption of minutes from March 22nd, 2022. If I could get somebody to move it and second it. Okay, so Katie, and then I'll get Katie to move it and Jim to second it. Alrighty, so moved by Katie, second by Jim, that the committee approve the minutes of March 22nd, 2022 as circulated. All in favor? Alrighty, C, business arising from the minutes. Does anybody have anything to bring forward from the minutes? No, alright. D, disclosure of interest. Anything for? No. Okay. So 2, business from previous meeting. First, we'll start off with the Rosedale Hall program update. And Christy, did you want to take that one, or did you want me to?
Me?
Yeah, I didn't. Oh, Maggie. Sorry, it's Maggie. Sorry, Christy.
Okay. First of all, the one we had last week, the firemen's, that was probably the best information I've been to in a very, very long time. Thanks to, Ian's not here tonight. Thanks to Ian for arranging that. I don't know if he's got anything arranged for this month. I know he was speaking to the OPP, but I don't know if he heard back from them. And I don't know if we were talking about getting the guy from town hall that does the permits and that. I don't know if he was able to do anything with that. So I'm not sure what's happening this month, next month, May.
Uh-oh. Don't know what to, Christy?
I don't, last I had heard, I don't believe that Ian had heard back from the OPP yet. If you were still maybe thinking, an idea was, what about our police services board? Possibly like the chair of our police services board, which is Ross McMurtry, maybe he might be able to say something, but I'm not sure. I don't know if we've heard back from anything. We might have to follow up with Ian, so.
So on that one, I guess we'll have to get a mover and a seconder to move that the MRCC receive the Rosedale Hall programs update information. And me or Maggie, or does anybody have lots of extra time on their hands? Maybe get in touch with Ian or Christy. You talk to him regularly at the office?
I can
Yeah,
send him an email.
I would suggest sending an email.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll send him an email.
I just wanted to quickly just say, I agree with Maggie that information night with the fire department was excellent. Because my husband's a firefighter, I wasn't actually really sure I was going to learn a lot, and I learned a ton, and it was super knowledgeable, and I encourage them that they should come back like every 6 months or once a year or something, because I think that there's a lot of information that a lot of us don't know or don't realize, and the more the word is out, I think the more people will show up to it.
Definitely.
I agree.
like I have to say there must have been, a good 15 questions, I think, at the very end of like all three presentations. The way they did it was awesome. And like you, Katie, you think you know quite a bit, read fire and you realize, wow. So even for recoursing, maybe for me it'd be like a sleepy brain, like you get busy and certain things and you forget about certain things, and it just reminds you, number one, just like the date on the fire extinguisher, you know what I mean, or like the simple little things, changing your battery once a year. But burning, we learned that you should have a burn permit, and you should call ahead, just like give them a heads up. So yeah, we learned quite a bit, and it was a great night. I thank the guys too, because they did a wonderful presentation. So on that note, because it was so positive and things are going so well, if I could get a mover into seconder so that we can get that forwarded. Okay, moving it. Okay, seconder. Maggie. So Katie. Maggie. Okay, so moved by Katie, second by Maggie, that the MRCC received the Rosedale Hall programs update for information. All carried. Good.
I'm having difficulty with my Wi-Fi, so if I freeze up or don't say anything, it's because I have no idea what's going on.
Okay, just jump back on if you have to go back out and back in. It's always
Right.
good to have you, Jess. We don't want to miss you. So moving to the next one would be B, review of the Easter event. I just want to start off with holy wow, wow. And what an event. Never in my wildest dreams being a part of this committee would I think that between the council and the rec council that we could throw such a huge event. The attendance was unreal. Final count, I think we said it was near what, 400 or over 400?
Yeah.
So for just getting the hall, started up and back, going and having that kind of attendance, great food, great people, everything was just, it went so smooth that wow. I'm really amazed by everything, and thank you for everybody for coming. What better way to advertise the hall is for people to see for themselves the work that's been done and keep doing stuff. So it's great. I wonderful. Hi, Katie.
The feedback has been fantastic. You never know when you get that many people together, if there's going to be some complaining or, we can't always please everybody, but I'm yet to hear anything negative about it. So Jessica, I hope you're ready to do that every year, girl. Great job. Great job setting us all up. That was awesome. Yeah.
Did anybody, Maggie?
I just wanted to thank Jessica too. She came up with some great ideas, Kate followed through with them. I think everybody had a really, really good time. I heard nothing negative on Facebook. Everything went absolutely smoothly. The guys in the kitchen were kept really, really busy. I never saw so many pancakes. Everything went so smooth until the very end, when 5 little lambs decided they weren't going home, and they ran around Rosedale for an hour, and we chased them, and the kids chased them, and we had more exercise in that half hour than probably the whole day, but we did get them back in the truck. So but no, that went really, really well. Thanks, Jessica.
That was good.
Yeah. Jeff?
Thanks, Brandy. Yeah, I mean, from the council perspective, I mean, it was a lot of fun for sure. And we would have never had the turnout if it was council just doing it. So like, obviously having it being paired up and getting to do that, I mean, that was a lot of fun. And I mean, I think everybody says kudos, Jessica, kudos. I mean, it was really cool. And I mean, I had a ball, and all those people coming through was really cool. So I'm glad that we were able to combine that too as well. It was awesome. So yeah.
Jim?
I was just going to say basically the same thing as everybody else. I was in the kitchen most of the time, and I never seen anything that was run so nicely that it was just smooth. Everything that was done, and then the girls at the tables and everybody else outside. It was just I was really impressed to see everything go along so well. Just like a real good oiled machine. It was perfect. I really enjoyed the day. I thought it was fun.
And thanks to our Easter bunny.
Oh, yes, I heard he or she had a lot of fun and would love to come back next year.
She had a lot of people sitting on her knee.
Yeah, all ages, big, small, little, tiny little ones, adults, mid, like even older teenagers, just for a joke, thought that it was, hey, let's go get our picture done. And looking from that view, like you guys didn't get to see the view from up top, but when you looked out and you saw those tables completely packed. And when I'm saying completely packed, I'm saying like, the lineup was going so smooth and, perfect service through, and the smiles on people's faces, seeing them talking once, amongst each other. The line even to go up on the bunny was like super smooth. Everybody was happy, very courteous. People let people in front of them. Like it would just, like great teamwork, guys. Great teamwork. As Jim says, like a well-oiled engine, just in good rotation. And we really, really did pull off something amazing. Hopefully, for many more years to come, we can make that a success.
There was lineups all over the place. There was a lineup to the road. There was lineups for the pony rides. There was lineups to buy whatever he was selling to feed the animals. Like everybody, I think, had a really, really good time. And we should try and make that a yearly thing.
Yeah. And the neighbors even joined in from, from around, which was really, really great. So thank you to Shannon Reed and her husband. That was, they were a big help controlling traffic and everything else. It was quite fun. Jessica?
I just wanted to say thanks to everybody. It couldn't have happened without all of you and your contributions. So thank you.
Well, great teamwork, guys. Big applause. Did anybody else have anything to add? Anything they want to add maybe for next year? Any ideas, any thoughts? No, keep it real, keep it the way we did it. And why hiccup, Katie?
I was just gonna say, why complicate it, right?
Yeah.
Keep it easy and simple. You don't want to add too much. I think what we had was just perfect, and it went really well. The positive attitude and like the positive atmosphere, it really shined all day. So kudos to all of us and anyone that helped. I know there was a dude in the kitchen who was there all day, and can't remember his name, but I'm like, we're so thankful for anybody that helped and anybody that, even just gave us a positive review from it. It's helpful for us moving forward, right, with other stuff. So
we have Bob in the kitchen there helping out, one of Vince's friends there, and then we had some other people out there helping out on the dishing out the food too. So it was kind of cool. Everybody's shipping in. So
yeah.
So I was going to chime in. The only complaint that I heard, I had one little dude. He's a funny kid, and he goes, "I think the pancakes were a little dry." So if that was the one, then I'll take that heat for that one. So it's good.
I think the only thing that didn't work out was the plastic Easter egg hunt. I don't think it was communicated to people that they needed to go find one and bring it back. Yeah. So I found a lot of little boys smashing them to bits and pieces, and yeah. So next year we probably won't do that, and we'll just let them come to the Easter Bunny and get their treats or whatever.
And overall, we didn't run out until the very, very end, and I think the last two that had asked one had already gotten. a loop bag, but thought he'd come back for a second go, or maybe that was a third. And the other little lady, and we made sure that she had a little Easter egg, and that she didn't walk away with her hands empty. So I'm just blown away by the success of the whole thing from front to back, from the beginning of the plan right to the end. Katie?
One point I looked out, and our amazing new play structure was like swarming with children having a blast. So it was so nice to see like all of our township's hard work really come together. Like our hall looked fantastic. The play structure looked fantastic. Everybody loved it. So like, it was just such a good thing for our community. It was really awesome.
Maggie?
I also saw some kids looking through the books in the little library. So thanks to Christy for getting that put in for that day. And thanks to the guys at Public Works for getting it all cleaned up. It looked really good.
Yes, I do have to do a big thank you to Christy for moving mountains to get that play structure open. She, begged and moved every string, like pulled every string possible to get that open. So a big thank you to you and the guys for making it, awesome and getting it open. Thanks. All right, so if I could get a mover and a seconder to that the MRCC review the breakfast with Easter Bunny event for information. Jen's moving it and seconding. Maggie. Alrighty, so moved by Jen, second by Maggie, that the MRCC review the breakfast with the Easter Bunny event for information. All in agreement? Alrighty, so the next one we get to look up is the update on Canada Day event. And I'm not sure, Maggie, did you have this one?
I haven't heard anything since the last meeting when we were talking about getting together with the Civitan Club to discuss what's going on and who's doing what and where and when. I don't know if a meeting has been set up or.
Not at the moment, no.
Right.
So
I guess that'll be something that we'll have to put on our list. Does the office handle that with between another club, or is that just one of us off there?
I was speaking with Allison, our new clerk administrator, today about this. So we'll get some information out to you guys about how that's going to go.
Okay. Did anybody else have?
There's some things that we should. There's some things that we should try and get settled sooner rather than later. We're going to run out of time to get the dunk tank and things like that from Ottawa. That's where we're going to get them. I think I spent 2 places that rents equipment, and I know the Run Amok place, I guess it was after the last meeting, let me know that there was no more, like all their delivery trucks were already booked because it's Canada Day. So a lot of people are doing stuff, but we're certainly welcome to come and take whatever we want. And the dunk tank can be hooked up to a hitch and brought to the Civitan Club. The other things, there was only a couple things that they had to send somebody, and that was basically to help us just set it up and show us how it works, not staying there with it. But I don't want to leave it too long in case there's nothing available.
Yeah, definitely don't want to lose certain attractions that definitely might bring a certain group out to participate and have fun. So if we could maybe alleviate some of that tonight, we have enough of everybody, right, to maybe do some decision making. Like ordering, like maybe booking down those things if that's what we're going to do, so that we don't lose them. The closer the time comes, the more things get booked. And not.
I would suggest you go ahead and do that. Yes.
Yeah.
But should we do that before we talk to the Civitan, see what they want on, like on their property? Because there were some things that require separate plugins and stuff like that, and the dunk tank needs a water supply, and shouldn't we check with them to make sure that it's okay to do that before we go ahead and book them?
Then I would suggest reaching out to the Civitan.
Checking with their rules, bylaw rules.
Yeah.
Okay. So I guess if we pre-plan to go ahead, as long as we have Civitan's approval, I guess that's kind of the loop, like the best way to, so that it's still locked down to go ahead, but we just need to make sure that we have their approval.
Yeah, and it's how much you want the Civitan to participate with you.
Okay, yeah, it's really hard to make full plans without them, isn't it? Like bands, you know what I mean? Like if we're gonna get a band, Jeff?
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I think like we want to know what the Civitan is going to do as far as how they're going to participate with us and what we can chime in. But I don't see them having an issue with having the dunk tank and having stuff outside. In years past, I think they've had outside things around. I would say, like, let's start booking that stuff, and let's have that. We can have that discussion hopefully quickly with them to kind of see how we can partner up a little bit more. But I agree. I think we should just start booking that stuff. I don't really see a big problem with that. So and we want to get that stuff to make it really fun. So let's go ahead and start doing that.
Yeah, Katie?
I was just going to ask Meg, did any of them say anything about a cancellation policy? Because sometimes you have like a certain amount of weeks that if something came up and the Civitan didn't approve one of them, that we could cancel it and get our deposit back or something like that. Because that might be something that saves us too, that we could go ahead and book what we want, and if we run into trouble that way.
I'll have to look over their policy again. I did check the rain day policy, and but I didn't check for cancellation policy. So I'll look back at their site. I think I sent everybody the pages that show what's available where and when and what we can pick up. And if people could just let me know what they're interested in, I can let them know that we'd like this. I know we don't want the dunk tank, but for the other things, I don't think we want a bouncy castle, because I believe those needed somebody working there with them. And with the wind factor, a lot of people don't like bouncy castles, but there were a lot of other participation things that we can rent. I'll send it out again to everybody, and you can just have a look and let me know what you think you'd like to see there. And I will check the cancellation policy in the meantime.
Sounds good. I was just going to ask you to resend it. That's awesome.
Yeah, thanks, Maggie. Did anybody
Vince has
else?
his hand up.
Oh, sorry, Vince.
Oh, I'm a little behind on everything. So are we looking at doing just a day program, or are we looking at doing a day and evening program at the Civitan, or kind of give me a quick overview there, if somebody could, please?
We were kind of thinking maybe to have like an all day right into the evening and do possibly a dance, but that's what we were kind of waiting to see how much the Civitan would like to participate. Our thoughts are is to help them as well, considering COVID's been hard on all the entities in that way. So it was kind of a share thing if they wanted to, you know, participate in having it and help them out.
Okay, so I'm going to assume that some of the fun things for the kids and that would be on the grass on the front. Now, just a thought that could work too with the dunk tank, and because water can be supplied by farmers in portable totes, that we can bring water to the site so that the Civitan doesn't per se have to supply a water hose and that sort of thing. So, and the water would be clean water. Wouldn't be something of a swale or anything like that. So, so that can be made possible as well, so that you're not just depending on the Civitan to supply a water hose and whatnot. So things like that can be made easier too. I was kind of hoping that we were going to kind of do an evening event too, that be it if it was a dance, just so, you know, people even listen to music, or they get up and dance, and that's all fine, or if need be, if the music had to be outside, and do the, have the event outside too. So all right, thanks. Direction. If you're looking for somebody to be on that committee or group to work on that, I'd be more than happy to be part of that.
Great. Thanks, Vince.
Thank you.
I like your suggestions with the water transportation too. That's awesome. Jessica first, then Maggie.
I'd like to suggest more of like a live music than a dance. I don't know, and we have to decide if it's going to be kid friendly or if no kids after 8 kind of thing. If there's going to be alcohol served and all that stuff.
Well, I think with the Civitan, if we go through them, the bar, as long as they have they usually run the bar, and no
They
doubt
do.
they'll want to collect because that's how they make their money. So that will be a big thing. When it comes to no kids, most kids usually, I mean, most parents either have a babysitter in the evening because they want to do their own thing. So, and especially after 2 years of being stuck at home, if they've got if this is their first time getting out for a night, I don't think they're going to want tag-alongs, but I don't want to say that a 10 or 12 year old just to have fun.
Yeah. And then like a barbecue during the day, like a lunchtime barbecue or something.
Yeah, we
like, are we offering lunch and dinner?
And that's where, again, to talk to the Civitan, like maybe if we did the lunch day, maybe they might want to do the dinner and possibly the dance part. It really does help to just communicate with them over and above to see what all they would like to participate with. Bill?
Yeah, thanks everybody. Just a couple things. You were mentioning about the bouncy castle, and I realize you're not maybe going to have them this year, but we have them come to the Lanark County Harvest Festival all the time, which is in September. And I don't recall that we ever had someone there to look after it. It was kind of like the parents and the kids, and they looked after each other. So I don't think that we ever had a staff look after it. So I just wanted to mention that. And again, we'll probably be having them this September again. So if any of you guys wanted to see what it's all about for another year, you could. But so I just want to mention that again. And then about the music, there's not much bigger draw around here, music wise, I don't think, than the Bowes Brothers from Beckwith Carlton Place. Whether they'd still be available at this time, because a lot of those bands are booked up already, but you could try that. And then the other thing I wondered if you guys ever thought about doing was like an open mic. An open mic sometimes brings a lot more people because families and friends come to hear their friend sing or play or whatever. So that's kind of an interesting thing to do, like have an open mic. So anyways, I just want to mention those things. Thanks.
I like that open mic thing.
I did it once, and that was
Maggie is the first one that's going to sing.
She's
the first one with her hand up.
You're going to be the first one in the dunk tank.
You'd love that, wouldn't you?
Don't make that water too cold. No, I was going to say that last meeting, I think I sent out a thing, and what I had thought of was a barbecue put on by the firemen from say 11 till 1, something like that. Then an open mic from 2 to 4, and then a dinner at say 6 o'clock, and then a live band dance in the evening. And that's what we wanted to talk about to the Civitan, because I think that's way above our budget. So if they could do part of that, because I don't think we can afford to do all of that.
Especially, whoops, Jess, go ahead.
I just wanted to add, we need to keep in mind that because it's so close to Smith Falls, probably going to get a lot of people from there as well. So we should keep that in mind.
Christy?
Again, just reminding anything to do with the fire department, you have to go through Bill Barber, and it has to go, they meet like twice a month. So you have to have it in right away to go to the association meeting to be voted on.
Okay. Katie?
I was just gonna say, is that something that we can put into motion to have done, is to reach out to Bill Barber and ask if they would be up for that? And if they are, anytime that we've done anything with them, not us, but like as a family, it's been, when we've done the barbecue, they've actually just done it all day. So if the Civitan isn't up to doing a dinner, if you're there for the day, you can eat barbecue food for lunch and barbecue food for dinner.
Yeah.
So if that's something that they're interested in, then maybe they'd be interested in doing a lunch and dinner time, and that would save money and time and tables being cleaned and dishes being cleaned and all that kind of stuff. So how do we go ahead about, does one of us reach out to Bill Barber? Is that how that works?
Yeah, so typically it's the chair, but if the chair directs somebody to do it, then somebody can take it upon themselves, but they do have to go through Bill.
Okay.
I don't mind doing that if that is something that, Brandy, you want to pass on. You just let me know. Send me an email and I can pass that on.
Maybe I can actually say right now, if you would like to take that upon yourself to do, that would be wonderful.
Okay.
And maybe email the rest of us just so we know where we're at.
Should I ask just lunch, or should I ask lunch and dinner and keep it simple?
If we keep it simple, either way, the Civitan's gonna win off the bar.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like if it's an all-day event, people will be going in and out all day long, so they're gonna win off the bar. We'll still want live music, or some kind of, entertainment over and above. So yeah, I would say if they did it all day, probably might be a good idea if everybody else is in agreement. It just keeps things so that maybe a little, like maybe next year we can kind of go for the all out shebang. But if we want to keep that the same way we did with the pancake breakfast, nice, smooth, it might be good to just keep it kind of simple, but yet big. Jim?
Yes, maybe what they could do is get the Civitan to look after the dance and the bar. And then that way they can make some money off of that. We don't have to worry about getting licenses or anything. And they'll, that way they'll make a little money.
Yeah.
I would think they will anyways. So, and then that, you're sort of giving them a good part of it. And then we've got the firemen hopefully and ourselves there for the other part. I think it'd be a good way to go.
So is everybody in agreement with that? I know we can't speak for Ian and Phil. Did you?
Yeah, I agree with what Jim is saying. I guess I would have only one thought, and that would be, and I think it's great that Katie, if you go ahead and kind of move it forward, but I still wonder if you shouldn't just give the president of the Civitan Club kind of the, I might say, first refusal of not doing food, because it might be just nice to make sure that it's okay with them about somebody else doing food on their premises. They may want to do food, but again, you can go ahead and get it in place with the firemen to find out if they would do it. But I'm just saying that the Civitan may like a chance to say yes or no first. I don't know that.
Katie?
That's fine. Can we just go ahead and designate, like, is that going to be you, Brandy, that reaches out to Civitan? Because we need to know their limitations too, so we could kind of reach out, figure out that, and figure out if they want to do a dinner. And if not, then I can go ahead and reach out to Bill for both of those. So someone gets that one checked off, then I can do the next one as soon as you send an email. So who wants to do that? Or who do you want to do that, Brandy, or do you want to do that?
Well, I don't always know what time I'm going to have, especially this time of year.
I touch base with the president for Civitan and ask those questions if you like.
That would be wonderful, Vince, if you could do that. That would be wonderful.
All right, I'll get on that this week.
And then send us an email, Vince, and as soon as I hear from you about food, I'll reach out to the fire, to Bill Barber about that.
Okay, so
Okay.
just to clarify, so I'm going to ask them about, so they already know that we want to use their facility for the 1st of July, is that correct?
Yes, the booking is in our name for Montague Township. So
Okay, and so what I want to find out from them is the fact of possible food for the afternoon and evening, the fact of having a dance, if they would be, obviously they're going to keep the bar for themselves, and see if we are going to organize music or if they are going to organize music. Is that about right?
Pretty well, yep, the rundown. Maggie?
Yep.
Can you also ask them if they have any problem with us setting up entertainment things around the outside?
Okay, okay. And would, Maggie, I'm going to assume that these dunk tanks or bouncy castle, I know you're saying, or other kid-friendly structures, we're going to probably set them on the front lawn.
Sure.
Believe
That'd be-
so.
Wait in the parking lot.
Okay, okay, all right. Let me touch base with the president of the Civitan, and I'll get back to everybody. Actually, I'll send the email to Katie, and I'll ask her to string it out to everybody else. Is that all right?
Yep.
Okay,
Sounds good.
all
Thank
right.
you, Vince.
I'll be back in touch with you.
Yep, Maggie?
And just to answer Bill's question, the attendant at the bouncy castle, that was their policy, not ours. I believe it's got something to do with their insurance, because they do provide insurance for all the equipment that we rent.
Oh.
And I believe to cover it, they had to have somebody there. Might have also had to do with COVID, about the number of people going into the bouncy castle, because it's rather, tight inside them. But that was their policy, not ours.
Yeah, and we haven't done it for the last 2 years, so that could be it, Maggie.
Katie?
I also think it has to do with which kind, because Bill, we've gone to that quite a few times too. And I think when it's just an up and down slide, there's no attendant needed. When it's where like 2 kids go through an obstacle course, there's an attendant that tells them when they can go. Like, do you know what I mean by that? So it's when it's you can't see the other side kind of thing is when there's an attendant usually needed.
Yeah, count coming out. Okay, so I think we have Jessica. You're muted.
I just wanted to add, maybe during the daytime, we can use the inside of the Civitan for kids' activities like crafts. I don't want to suggest face painting because there might be way too many people and it would create a huge line. Where we can find some sort of like temporary tattoos or something. Just have like a couple little like inside smaller activities, especially if it's going to be a hot day or a rainy day. People might want to get some indoor time.
Cool. Yeah, good point. Chrissy.
what about like a tent, because I'm just thinking if you're doing food inside and say the Civitan is doing all the food inside, you might be set up for food. And then if you had a tent outside, then there'd be like the shaded areas to have arts and crafts or the temporary tattoos. I was just an idea in case like if the Civitan does agree to do all the food, then they might need the inside to do that. That's just an idea. So we'll know more after though.
I'd like the tent idea. Budget wise though, I don't know. What is our budget? Anyone?
What should we spend?
I think you'll have to check in with Treasury to find out what's going on there.
Okay, thank you. Jim?
I just, maybe Bill should be able to remember this. I thought we, as a council, contributed money to the firemen for a tent. And then if we wanted to use the tent at some time, we would be able to. Did the firemen not receive a tent? Well, it'll be last election, so 4 years after that. 4 years ago,
Katie's
that we
shaking her
as
head.
council supported for them for their activities, but it was said at the time if council ever had something they needed it, that we could use it. Bill might remember. I'm just wondering.
So, yeah,
Katie's
I think,
shaking her head.
I think you're right, Jim. I think you're completely correct. And maybe I would suggest, Katie, because you're going to be talking to the fire department anyways. Maybe you could ask them. I'm pretty sure they got the tent because at the time they couldn't get it from another organizations they used to get it from. So they needed a tent and they ended up getting one, I think, and using it for the Rural Ramble. So
Oh,
maybe Katie
I
would
I
be
think
able
I've seen that tent.
Katie's been
Yeah.
shaking her head. Yes, yes. Katie?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to speak like out of term because I'm not a firefighter. So I know that there are tents. I don't know the availability or anything like that. But that was actually on my list before we even said it, that if they were going to barbecue, I was going to ask them if they could set up a tent area for picnic tables or something outside, just to have it. So that's on the list. I will definitely ask that once I hear from Vince.
Awesome. We love our fire department. Did anybody else have anything that they can think of that needs to be talked about right away or to make this keep things flowing smooth? Anyone?
Not till we hear back from Vince.
Bill?
So just another thing I was going to remind people of is that in the earlier days when we organized the Lanark County Music Fest or the Lanark County Harvest Festival, we used to get some tables. I think they're the red tables you see from the highway at the Christian school near Franktown.
Oh, yeah.
And they used to lend us the picnic tables for free. We just had to go and pick them up. So somebody with a trailer had to go pick them up in the morning, bring them back at night. That's just another possibility and of tables, if you want outside tables. And I think maybe they were picnic tables. And so anyways, that's one idea. And then the other one was that I believe that there may also be some picnic tables. And again, if you needed somebody to talk to the Smith Falls Montague Airport, then I would also do that for you because I believe they may have picnic tables that, and if so, they would probably also end up being free. So just those two possibilities for tables.
The airport's probably a really good one too. To maybe contact and reach out to. If you could, Bill, maybe. That would be great.
Okay. Do you want me to just check and see if they do have tables?
It doesn't hurt to go ahead and ask at this point because we don't want to be short of seating and tables, and the extra the better. After seeing what happened at Easter time, who knows what could end up happening, right?
Yeah.
Katie?
So
Well, regardless if we do food in our, like the fire does food outside or Civitan, there's going to be the need for tables outside. So I think that check it off the list. Yep, Bill, go do that. And then that way we can just have things checked off so that, because we're gonna run out of time, guys. So
Yeah, it's gonna come fast. Did anybody else have anything that they can think of? No? Okay. So if I could get a mover and a seconder to send this for Canada Day information. Mover, Katie? Katie, did I see your hand, Jess? And Jessica. Okay, moved by Katie, second by Jessica, that the MRCC receive the update on Canada Day for information. All in agreement?
could I just make one?
Yeah, go ahead though.
Sorry, I just another, this just came into my mind as we were talking. So I'm sorry to throw this out at you, but
Okay.
as far as entertainment is concerned, also somebody that would be a huge draw, and maybe she's so well known now that she's charging, I don't know, but she's an amazing, amazing young lady who is excelling in music, and I'm actually working in Nashville, but I'm sure she's back home all the time. And that being Amanda Dizelle Jordan. So some of you may know them, her. She's a musician. She's lived in Montague, and I guess she's, she's already had several, I think she's had some pretty good music out there, and maybe already had 3 or 4 albums. And John Jordan is her, John, and I forget her mom's name. John, who is running for the PCs. He is her father. I think they still live on maybe Ferguson Tetlock or something. Anyways, I just wanted to let you know that, because I heard her sing when she was probably 8 years old or 10 years old down at the Montague Forget-Me-Not Club, and you could tell that she was on her way up, and she certainly went all her way up, because as I said, she's already got albums out. She works in Nashville, so it might be a thought.
Maybe she might want to do just like, a local here I am, might not hurt to ask. I'll have to look that one up on Facebook. Are you familiar? Anybody familiar with her? If she sings country, I probably heard it and didn't even know it was her singing. Just saying.
It's country.
Well, then I probably heard her. I probably have sung one of her songs. All right, so Kitty's moved it. Second by Jessica, that the MRCC received the update on Canada Day for information, and we carried that, so I signed it. Next on it would be items for consideration. So A, plant exchange at Rosedale Hall. Maggie, did you want to take this one, or?
That was Val's. Is she still with us?
I see her blank screen, but I'm not sure if she can.
Can you hear me?
I can.
Oh, yeah, I was having a bit of computer issues and audio issues. So I don't really have, my only suggestion for the plant exchange was that we do, oh, I'm getting a message here. Just hang on. Oh, there. Can you see me now? My only suggestion was to have it as soon as we can, because usually people want to put their plants and stuff, their seedlings in the ground by no later than the May 24th weekend. So we should be looking at it the first couple of weeks in May. I planted seedlings after we had our seed exchange. Actually, no, it was April 14th when I planted them, and I've got trays and trays of them coming up. They're about maybe only an inch, but they're up. They're up. So it's encouraging, Yeah.
Nice to see new growth.
So we need to pick a date, I guess is what I'm saying. And somebody could put something out there.
What is the third Saturday in May? Does anybody have a calendar in front of them?
Oh, I'm
21st.
looking.
When
Third
is
Saturday in May. That's the Victoria Day weekend.
Wow.
Yeah. And when's Mother's Day?
Mother's Day is the 8th, Sunday, the 8th. Victoria Day weekend is the 21st, 22nd, 23rd. So there's the 15th.
How about the weekend in between those?
15th?
Yeah, I was thinking either the 15th or the weekend after on the 29th. Katie?
I just worry about it. What if it's like with it being too early? Like I just think of like all my hostas, like nothing's come up yet. And a plant exchange is kind of like when you take things out of your garden too, right? And
Yep.
so I wonder if we should wait a little bit.
You mean like the last weekend in May then, Katie, do you figure?
Maybe, yeah, like not do it too soon, right? Like
that would be the 28th of May.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would still work, It's still not too late to put your stuff in the ground. Yeah,
No, to me, it's kind of, I always say the weekend after, it's kind of like the grace of, okay, it's gotta be safe now, right?
pretty
Um,
much, yeah.
Would you want it on the Saturday or the Sunday?
I don't know. What does everybody think? I'm open for suggestions. It's nice, I guess, a Sunday afternoon after church. Everybody comes home from church, or
Is the hall
Saturday is
avail-
usually, sorry?
Maybe,
is the hall available on the 29th?
Yes.
or the 28th? Is it
Both,
available?
both days are open. I just opened the calendar.
Okay,
I'm good with the 29th.
does anybody think which day is
Yeah.
better?
I-
Sunday,
29th is good, yeah.
okay.
What did we do our seat exchange hours for? What were they?
1 to 3, I think.
Let me check. CD Sunday was 1 p.m. to 3 p.m.
Yeah.
You might as well just keep it the same, right?
Yeah,
It's simple.
Yep,
kind of keeps consistency.
I'll do 11 a.m. setup, 1 p.m.
Yeah, the way we kind of did it the last time, I think that perfect.
Yeah. And then let's just copy and paste that right over here.
By the sounds of it, it's locked down, people.
And Christy, because you're so great at what you do, could you do a little flyer for us sooner than later,
Yeah.
so that might make people save some of their stuff or decide that they want to split them up sooner than later and save
Yeah, I'll
it for
kind
our-
of play off the CD Sunday flyer.
That's awesome.
That's a good idea.
To kind of they kind of coincide together, you know.
yeah, that would be great.
Like
Yeah, I'll
part
do that.
1 and this is part 2.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Thanks, Christy.
It looks like Katie might have a lot of seeds to sell in the background there.
Yes, I expect you to bring all those sunflowers to the exchange.
If only they were real.
I know
Yeah.
it.
Oh,
Christy? Uh-oh.
would you be opposed to a Saturday?
No.
I have a group right now that is in talks of possibly renting the halls on Sundays, and
Okay.
they haven't fully committed, but
But we don't want to be in the way just in case. So I have no problem with moving it to the Saturday if everybody else is in agreement.
Yeah, I agree.
We possibly might get more attendance being Saturdays. You know, a lot of people like to go to garden centers and do, you know, projects on Saturdays. So you never know, we could get more attendance.
yeah, it's just that this lady that actually attended Katie's play group has brought forward a thing about going in on Sundays. So it would be nice, since I know about it, to keep it available right now.
Yeah, no, hey, I fully agree. Fully agree. We want to get that hall rented as much as possible. That was the whole point to us being created. It's a good thing.
Perfect. So yeah, we'll do for a Saturday then. It should be
So Saturday,
Saturday.
same time.
11 a.m. setup, 1 to 3.
Sounds good.
Sorry, I just thought I better put that in my brain. Hey, it's in.
Saturday. Alrighty, so we're locked down. Watch. Alrighty. So I guess from here, did anybody have anything that they wanted to add for the plane exchange or anything? Any ideas? No? All right. So if I could get a mover and a seconder to carry. Katie's moving it. Seconder. My head's going around the screen. Seconder. Okay, Jessica. Moved by Katie, second by Jessica, that the MRCC receive the discussion on a plant exchange at Rosedale Hall for information. All carried. Alrighty, so next would be Ontario Trillium Grant. Who had this one? Doesn't always tell me on the side of it who was speaking on it. Maggie.
Yeah, I can't remember who sent this to me, but there was just parts of it that I think we could probably qualify for. The main one being better use of technology. Maybe that would help get us Wi-Fi down at the hall. It could also, if we could, goes into that, but we could also look at maybe doing some front of the hall upgrades. It's going to look a little run down. Replacing that concrete wall maybe, or we talked about putting up a bulletin board on the wall to let people know what's going on there, and also if they wanted to put their business cards up there for local people. Probably could use a paint job. We had some really good window washers last week that did half of the windows. Maybe we can get the rest of them done.
Bye, Katie.
But no, I just thought this grant, if we qualify for it, put in for it and see what we can get.
Yeah, I agree, and I don't know if that grade could be used for a few other things, but I know the roof around certain areas maybe could use some TLC to prevent leakage in the future. The walkway going to the hall, not where the concrete comes, but from the grass part. That's a pretty rough looking patch of area. It'd be nice to maybe have it where it's smooth, where if somebody can't park over there for the wheelchair access, then they can park and still access in a nice manner. And signage, just like that, like a board on the outside where you can just put stuff on. But yeah, just certain things that need still a little bit of parking. Jim?
I was just going to say, maybe Christy can help us in this, but some of that may fall under council, because some of it's to do, once you start to talking sidewalks and things, that could be under the township's repair bill to keep things like that set up. I don't know on the grants, and with the grants from being on council before a few times, I'm not sure if anybody here is capable of fixing up one of the papers to send into it, but it's well worthwhile hiring somebody that knows what they're doing for the grants, because you're going to spend a lot of time, and if you're not right on it, you're not going to get the grants.
Yeah. Christy?
I will say that council just hired one of the best grant writers I know of.
I knew that.
Allison is excellent at grants, and her and I were already discussing this grant today.
Perfect.
Yes.
She
Awesome.
does a really good job.
Awesome. Jeff?
Yeah, that's where I was going to go. Obviously, I believe this is the grant also that I guess 4 years ago that I think Allison actually did to get the latest updates and upgrades and the hall along with the play structure.
Absolutely.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, so I don't know if there's a time frame, but I think this is the biggest thing is literally is not to lay this back out, but put this back to as a request to staff, and it sounds like Christine Allison are already on that too as well, to see sort of how we can go with that, and definitely as council, I'd like to follow up with it too as well, to see how we can sort of support that too as well. So I think if we can move it towards that and see what Allison gets, and we can probably get a little bit more information the next meeting. We have until August to get it submitted, so that's a good thing that we're talking about it now. So
Katie?
When you submit a grant application, do you have to state what you're using it, what you wish to use it for? Is that what? So maybe on that list, and I know they can be expensive, but we used to have all those sound barriers in the hall, and we kind of talked about possibly getting some that were actually made by a company, so they would be
art looking,
more to blend in with the new decor of the building. Because I do run playgroup out of there once a month. The floors have made a huge difference. Like there must be some give in those floors because it's definitely made a huge difference, but it definitely can get pretty loud in there and echoey. So maybe just keeping that in mind to add in like a couple into it or something like that might be an idea.
Okay, Christy, then Jeff.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I know the ones that were there, they literally crumbled, and they were terrible. And so, and I know you guys were talking about it back in 2019 with Jasmine about the getting new ones. So definitely that should be a part of it.
Any way to squeak a basketball net into that, like an area for basketball? Because I know that was a few things that was brought up when people talk to you. They just mentioned people in the area. I don't know if that qualifies to go under in the grant, but if there's any change left over. Jeff, you had your hand up.
Yeah, I mean, the grant is pretty open. It's really all about making better community spaces, right? So I think that's a big one. I think these are all great suggestions, and I think this is the idea of write down your wish list, because then, as Allison's talking to as well, and I think if we go to the next meeting, have that wish list so she also has an idea of what is being asked to as well. So yeah, Katie, write that one down. Write down the stuff at the front. Where do we see the things that need to be fixed or made better, or to add on to make it a better community space, and then go from there. So,
Katie,
how about you all email me your requests and I'll make a big list and send it to Christy and she can give it to Alice. Sound good? Then you're not getting a bajillion emails. Send me your list. You got like what are we gonna give them as a cutoff before they send me their list? Like deadlines. When does
by next Tuesday?
Yeah,
is that good enough, Christy?
Yeah.
Okay. You got till Tuesday, folks. Send me your wish lists.
Bill?
Yeah, just a couple things now. 2 or 3 people have mentioned this, like if there's things that the committee sees, for instance, that has something to do with the possibility of, say, a roof leaking, then really that's a responsibility of Public Works. And I really think that that's the type of thing that is great for you to send that information in to Christy, and then it gets to Public Works through the committee or the council. But really, when it comes to repair, that's Public Works. That's not the committee, I don't think. And the other thing that I was going to mention is that about a list of things for grants and so on. Usually those people who are looking at applications, they don't want to see many suggestions. They just want to see it, the simpler, the better. The less that you're asking, the better. It could be a big thing, but the less numbers of things. So when the list gets through to, is it you, Katie, or whatever, I think the committee should be making a decision about priority. So if whoever's going to be looking after this application knows what the top priority is, then maybe you start from there instead of throwing in a whole bunch of things. Thanks.
Katie, then Christy. Sorry, Christy.
Well, we can also be creative too, and a lot of things can be grouped, I'm sure, under specific headings per se, right? Like instead of being very diligent of, oh, we want this, this, and this, it'd be like, well, I'm sure depending on whatever everybody says, we can probably compile some of those wants into one category per se. And
of course, Christy and Allison, you guys will work your magic. We know that. So we will leave obviously the number 1, 2, 3 in your hands to decide.
No pressure.
No pressure. Christy.
Yeah, I definitely was going to say, like, it's good to have all the wants and needs, but and it's good to have them all on there in a sense, because then you know what people are thinking. But yeah, having like your top, like it's always good to shoot for the moon, but knowing your realistic expectation, I guess would be a way to say it, right?
Yeah. So I wasn't there, but I know, Jeff, was it you that walked around with somebody around the outside of the building noticing a few things, or was that Ian?
A second. Yeah, I mean, Ian was walking around. Ian and I were having some good chats too as well about that part too as well. So there is some side of it too as well. I think part of that might have been sent to Public Works already, but I might check with Ian about that too as well.
Okay, so I'll leave that in your hands with Ian, and you guys can decipher that and send it in.
Yeah.
If that hasn't been. Christy?
Yeah, the bigger problem. I mean, I mean, to reiterate, it's nice to make it. The biggest thing is making a big list, and then we're not submitting that yet. So make the big list, and then yeah, we can, like Katie said, crunch it down, put it under headings. But we gotta start big and then bring it in. So I mean, it's yeah.
Christy?
Yeah, I was just going to reiterate though, like as a committee, like it's not up to us to repair the building. It is up to us to put in our thoughts in that to the appropriate staff and council. So it's not really like we can talk about it. It would send, if there's issues, then you have to send it to the staff, and so that they can fix those issues instead of talking about it, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, I mean, the issues are one thing, but making it, but I think a lot of that talk
Discussing
sometimes
aesthetics
also,
is
the aesthetics outside, making that look nicer. This needs to be fixed underneath. I mean, it's a bigger discussion when we're talking about having to repoint the wall or something like that, as far as that would be a big budget as well. So I mean, obviously it's something like, how can we fix those aesthetics? How can we make that look better? We got to fix the roof leak now because for obvious reasons. 100%.
Yeah, we don't want all that hard work going to waste. And thank you, and tell Allison we thank her as well. Okay.
You'll meet her next time.
Yeah, she'll have to join our committee one time.
I think she'll be at the next meeting.
Nice. It'll be good to see her.
I just bring something up quick. So who would I talk to about some of the late night happenings at the outside of the Rosedale Hall?
You're going to want to speak to Allison, the clerk administrator,
Okay.
and you'll want to do that to her directly, not here.
Yep. Okay.
Thanks.
Awesome, thank you. So does anybody else have anything to add with the grant? I think we have that pretty well looking good. All right. So if I could get a firster and a seconder, please.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, Jim for the first, second. And Maggie. Alrighty, moved by Jim, second by Maggie, that the MRCC receive the Ontario Trillium Grant discussion for information. All in here? Okay, so next would be farmers market discussion.
Yes, that's me.
Okay, Jessica.
Just kind of bringing up what I had brought up last year in regards to doing like a meet the farmers market. I think now with COVID restrictions being lifted, we could probably pull something off in one location. And if anybody has any thoughts, agree, disagree.
It's not the same weekend that one of the farmers in our area has started. I think now this is going to be his third year possibly. And I can't remember the address, but I do know that he has had amazing success as long as it's not on that same weekend, because I wouldn't want to take away from his event, seeing as he's done so well in the last few years. I'm not against it. I think it would be wonderful. I know there are a few local farmers that wouldn't probably participate because they don't leave their stations because they've got like they're grounded.
Mm-hmm. I
But
mean,
anybody-
it's not necessarily to sell their items. It's more of like maybe have a couple of samples of what they have available and just be in one place so people can find out what's around.
Yeah, yep, agreed. Does anybody have any ideas or anything they would like to say? Maggie?
I just wanted to comment that as far as the farmers go, we did contact a few of them last time, and they weren't that interested in bringing their
Okay.
stuff to the hall. But there are a lot of local produce people that do honey and cheese and all kinds of that sort of stuff. I
Okay.
think that might be a group to include because they sell
Yeah,
from
that's
their
kind of
homes.
along the lines of what I was thinking.
Yeah, they don't advertise an awful lot. It's kind of word of mouth. They put a few big
Mhm.
things on Facebook. But if people knew what they had, you know, it would advertise for them, and it would also get local people, give them some, you know, I just think we should include the produce people as well as more as the farmers.
Yeah. Katie?
Wonder if we don't call it a farmer's market then, if it's kind of, we do a kind of like what's in our community or what's something, I don't know, my brain's not on right now, but something along those lines. So it's not just like just farmers, you know, we've got pottery ladies in this town. We've got, that kind of stuff where we, can just be kind of an information / show off what you got so that people in your community are aware of what's out there.
Yeah, I like that.
If you call it a
Crafters,
local, if you call it a local artisan show,
Yeah,
does that sort of just mean pottery and stuff, or does that mean people that make honey and cheese and stuff like that?
Well, we
How
can
about
do artisan and producers or artisan and food.
how about a
makers.
maker's market? A maker's market, that works,
Oh,
yeah,
making market. I like that.
yeah.
Bill?
We just need a catchier title.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
was just gonna say, a couple people made made a difference between produce and farming. Well, I guess my only comment is producers, vegetable producers are farmers as much as beef farmers or honey farmers or anything. We're all farmers. But
But when you
just
say
another
farmers,
comment, if you're going to have one, don't have it on a Saturday, whatever you do, because there are at least 5 other farmers markets that I know, that being Perth, Carlton Place, Almont, Mississippi
Phil.
Mills, and maybe Lanark. So they're all on Saturdays. And
Mhm.
I think even the one in North Gore is on Saturdays. So if
Yeah.
you're ever going to do one, don't do it on a Saturday. And like I said, I'm just saying that if you produce food, you're a farmer.
Christy?
I was like, what about like a harvest market or like a harvest?
We call the one in Smith in Lanark the Lanark County Harvest Festival, and
Right.
what that is it is crafts and food. That's basically what it is, and I can tell you, and I really hope, I love nothing better than to see one happen in Montague. But I can say that the last time we did a harvest festival, which was 2 years ago now, we usually have around 50 to 55 vendors. We've always had 50, 55 vendors. And we tried to get people from Montague to do it, but out of the 55, I think we only had 1 from Montague. So it would be sure nice to see, maybe because it's your committee that's organizing it, you'd be successful, but it would be sure great to see one. And then just as another crazy idea as I'm speaking, I'm thinking about this, that if something happened that you didn't get an actual live harvest festival off the ground this year, another project that has happened in other places, and I've been involved in this myself, that is producing a flyer. There's a very successful one called Local Flavors, and local flavors is kind of, well, it's kind of the idea of what Valerie mentioned, like makers. So it's producers and artists and that. But there's a flyer that's actually produced with all the people's names, phone numbers, addresses, and then you print so many and people pick it up at different places and it tells you exactly where everybody is in Montague making things or producing things.
I like both ideas. Jessica?
I just want to add to that. So that's kind of where I was going to go next. Was I like where we're going with the makers market. The original intention was to get more information out there as opposed to having people come sell what they make. So if people don't want to come and do that, then yeah, it would be great to make up some sort of brochure or flyer, and just gather information for people, for residents, so they can find all these makers and producers and farmers.
Yes, because we have a local that does duck eggs. Christy, then me.
I was going to say there's a section on the township website. I'm just trying to make my screen a little bigger here. That lists like all the businesses and stuff like that. I'm not sure. Like I know some people when COVID happened, like it's a shop local and it like goes through all the locals like Bakers and Campbell's and the studios and Gemmel's, like Milk House Farm and Dairies on here with all like, I'm just not sure, like we have like a list on the website of maybe we should start like trying to advertise getting more people to list on there and making it more public that people are aware. Cause like there's Simmerville Farms, Two Rivers Food Hub, you know, Pottery by Linda Haynes, like North County Sheds is on there, the Montague Farm Museum, like there's lots of different places on there and on the shop local side of our website. So
yes, I had no idea that existed. So yeah, if we can advertise that.
Yeah, so
no idea.
I
don't mean like how many people actually go to the township website unless they're like specifically looking for, you know, garbage day or
Yeah.
And I mean no disrespect by that. I just feel like maybe we can send out.
Katie?
That's what I was going to say. I think that's a great idea to advertise for that, Christy, and encourage people in the community to send in their information, because even if we do a makers market, then we have updated contacts that we can personally reach out to on top of, you know, advertising for people to connect with us and join our market. So I think that's a great spot to start, is to advertise for people to get their names on our website.
Yeah, so it's listed under visitors, and then so when you go to the website, it's like residents, business, government, and then like there's visitors where you can find our attractions, and that's kind of, it's the same spot where like facilities is where you would find the information about the airport, the Rosedale Hall, and all that. So yeah, maybe we can do something up to draw more people to the visitors section of the website to have our shop locals.
Or somewhere on there that you can maybe link that if you know, it would link them over to it.
It's nice because like even there it's linking like specifically for the first one, Baker's Farm, it links right to their webpage, like their Facebook.
Oh, that's good. Okay.
Like, so check it out. It's on our website under visitors, MontagueTownship.ca.
I have been on the website, but I'm not as often as I should, but I did not know that was there. So I'm going to have to tinker a little bit more.
Also, I suggest everyone sign up on the very front of the page and sign up for the newsletters that go out. It's on the main page of the website. Scroll down to the bottom. Sign up today.
Question, Christy, I often feel guilty because you end up having to do so much of our advertising for us. If there's ever anything that one of us can help you with, I don't mind helping put together any advertisements that then you can then approve or whatever. So just reach out via email. I don't mind.
Send them over. We can go through them and add on our branding and just like that. It's easy peasy. Jessica made a lovely flyer for the Easter Bunny, which I adored. I love those purple eggs. I liked it. It was pretty.
Maggie.
I just want to say that I've actually used that business listing on the website. And there are a lot of places that I've had no idea were around. But I do like the idea of putting out a flyer with everybody, not putting out maybe, but making a flyer with everybody on it that we could put at the township office for people to pick up. not just for visitors, but for people that live here. So if you're looking for somebody that makes local honey or something like that, you pick a flyer up. Not everybody goes to the internet an awful lot. And some people get very frustrated trying to find a particular thing on the internet. So if you have something that you can hand somebody, even when we have all our information nights, we can have brochures there for
Yeah.
people to pick up for different things.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I
we
do
can,
like-
I was gonna say, maybe we can ask these businesses to bring in flyers if they do have them and drop them off at the township office.
Over and above.
Because I
Yeah.
know pre-COVID, like before, we used to have the racks there with all the brochures in them.
Yeah.
The whole front laid out with all the brochures for people to drop off. So I know the Merrickville Library still drops off their stuff. So
It
Could
would
we
be good to see
duplicate
that come
rack?
back.
Could we duplicate that rack at Rosedale? So when people
we
come
don't
to
have
the-
that rack right now.
Well, something doesn't be that rack, but I mean something similar that we could.
Yeah,
put
we
fly-
could definitely look for something to put there.
Maybe something they can hang on the wall or something just on the
Mhm.
inside.
in between the doors somewhere, whatever. But just people could pick up that information when they come to the hall for different things too.
Yeah.
Because I do like that. I do like the Montague Harvest Festival
It
I
has
don't
some
know
nice
how-
ring to it.
That has a good ring to it.
For the Montague
Harvest-
Makers Market.
or the Montague Makers Market.
I think the way
big
Maggie said it, it
MMM.
kind of had a nice ring to it though. The Montague Makers Festival. Is that how you said
No,
it?
Montague Harvest Festival
Montague
or the
Harvest
Montague
Festival.
Makers Market.
Yeah, MMM.
I like MMM. I
Steve-
like that.
Harvest to me means like September. I don't know if that's correct, but it makes me think fall.
Yeah.
Well,
And
yeah,
then
the harvest
festival makes me
2021.
think like there's going to be music and entertainment and stuff too.
Hmm.
So if-
I like the MMM, Montague Makers Market.
We like our
It's
M's that are
really good.
good.
We could make a really good flyer using MMM.
Yeah.
One
Bill?
big M.
Yeah, I was also going to just hearing everybody speak, and I'm just going to make this as a suggestion because going back to the Lanark County Harvest Festival, which is the first Sunday in September. So you're right, Katie, it's definitely a festival. It's definitely September. But an idea that would be probably really good for the committee would be if you wanted to, you can rent a little space at the Harvest Festival. Like what happens is the Lanark County Harvest Festival is for all 8 municipalities, but each year one municipality is the host municipality. The one this year is the Highlands, Lanark Highlands. But what happens is we rent this huge tent that we then rent back out to individual organizations in Lanark County. That organization can be, an environmental group, a recreational group. It can be any kind of a group. And I think it's like, I forget, but I might say $20, something like that. But basically what it is you're allowed then to set up a little booth along with everybody else under the same tent, and you promote the organization that you do. And you could be promoting events that are coming up. You could be promoting. You could take along whatever flyers from businesses in Montague. You could pass them out. It's a way that the Recreation and Culture Committee could, in fact, really do a lot of promotion of Montague for. I can't remember. It might be $20, and then if you let's say if you needed lighting or electricity, it might be $40. But most people get away with, I'm sure, around $20. But if you people thought that you might want to, put in a Sunday at the Harvest Festival, you'd see all of the different stuff that's going on, possibly get some ideas of things that you could do in Montague, but also do a lot of self-promoting for not very much money. And if you were interested, the contacts would be Cassandra, who is the clerk administrator at Beckwith. But if you were interested, you could mention it. Any of you could just mention it to me, then I could get the information, because I sit on the committee and we've already had 2 meetings to organize it. We'll be having another one this month. It's just a really interesting thing to do.
SP, you had your hand up? Or Maggie? Jessica? Maggie?
What was the date on that, Bill?
Well, it's the first Sunday in September.
September 3rd then.
And this is like a free, it's a free, there's everything is free basically, except the food in the food booths, but it's free to get in, the music's free, Bouncy Castle, the petting zoo, you name it, it's free.
Nice. Jessica?
I was just gonna say, is there like a registration form you can send us with information? Or do we have to contact this person specifically?
If I were you, one of you should probably just call the Beckwith and ask them to send you all the information they can regarding a booth for the Harvest Festival.
Katie's volunteering for it again.
Yeah, I am, because I already am in contact with Cassandra because I run playgroup in Beckwith. So I don't mind reaching out to Cassandra and asking her for a registration form to see what that all entails if we're interested in doing that.
That sounds good. Thanks, Katie. Christy?
Yeah, definitely. I was going to say, definitely reach out and do all those things. Just remember that it does have to come back to council.
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
final approval.
Yeah. Valerie?
I just want to add a comment referring to Bill's. We've gone to that Lanark Harvest Festival several years, and it's fabulous. So I highly recommend that if you're entertaining this whole idea, go for it. So, yeah.
We might have to get a little small group to go together and take Bill up on that.
Oh, I think that would really be a good idea. Yeah.
If anything, you know what? The crew needs some time away to play too. Maggie?
And I was just going to add that I've also been to a couple of them, and there's a wealth of information from each part of Lanark, and Montague never has very much signage there. It would be great to have a booth with local farmers, local people.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about putting out what we're doing as far as, like Easter dinner and stuff, because to me that's more Montague, but definitely pushing the businesses that are in Montague is a great idea.
Yeah, all the local vendors in Montague. Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah, especially if if they can and we can get a flyer. What better way, for people to find out what we have in Montague Township alone and who's out here, and we could have that flyer and proudly hand them out.
And maybe if we talk to some of the producers, they might want to come and bring some of their stuff to hand out or to talk to people about what they do.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll look over the information and go.
Yeah, I like that idea. We'll just have to take a little minivan. Who has a minivan? Anybody have a minivan? Jessica's gonna all pile in your minivan.
It's not very clean though. I have 3 kids.
Oh well, hey, you can just put some sheets over. It's all good. All right. So I like that. Planning for the future. Gotta love it. So from there, I guess we've discussed it. We'll definitely want to bring this back up because we don't want time's gonna fly by quickly and we're already coming into May. So yeah, we definitely don't want to sleep on this one. So I guess email any information, and so we'll just have to converse and talk about it the next one and see what we can set up as soon as we can. Okay, so if I can get a mover and a seconder to carry this one on. Mover, Jessica's moving it, and a seconder, please. Valerie's gonna second that one. All right, so moved by Jessica, second by Valerie, that the MRCC receive the farmers market discussion for information. All carried. Your hand up there, Kitty. Alrighty. Moving on to unfinished business or any other business. Does anybody have any unfinished business or any other business that they would like to bring up to the table? Okay, Maggie put her hand up first and then Jessica.
I was just wondering are we still on board for having that summer student to help at Rosedale Hall as far as cleaning up the shelves and cleaning the upstairs and going through that stuff and sorting through the garbage and what's not garbage? Are we still on board for having a student to do that? And when does students start?
So that'll be a discussion had at the township office. The summer students are starting soon. So that'll be discussion with Allison and that about when that can happen.
Okay. If you could forward and let us know when we can maybe look at making some plans to help make it flourish at the hall and do our little fine tweaking, would be lovely. Maybe just so that we can store stuff. Jessica?
I was just curious, we still have space for new committee members, right?
Yeah, so now that Allison is here, we're gonna be moving forward with that.
Okay,
So-
so if I have if I've kind of roped somebody into it, can I send them your
So-
way kind of thing?
I believe the advertisement still has to go out,
Okay.
but once the advertisement actually goes out, it was
Perfect.
kind of a limbo area in
Yeah.
the in between phase here. So
Nice and way to go, Jessica.
I'm trying.
Nice and way to go, Jessica. Come on in, people. We'd love to have you. Bill?
Yeah, just to go along with that now, I'm only making this suggestion, and Jeff is the only one that's with us tonight also on council, but as far as I'm concerned, if any of you or any of us have someone that's interested in being part of the committee, I just don't understand why that person can't, if she or he wanted to, could start as a whatever you want to call that person, like acting or whatever, until they get a full-fledged certification. But what's the deal there, Christy? Like we're not turning down somebody. We're not going to turn down.
We don't have
somebody
any
that wants to be-
applicants.
We're not going to turn down somebody that wants to be a volunteer if they have to wait 2 or 3 or 4 months for us to make a decision that they can be a volunteer, surely.
Yeah, again, I'm not 100% on the process myself, so I just know that we haven't advertised for it at the moment. And as far as I was under the impression is we don't accept things unless we're advertising. So it's one of those things that in the transition of getting from acting clerks to clerks and administrators and everything, there's just been a bit of a staffing issue there. So we'll get on it though right away.
I'm just saying, like, there were people that were volunteers at the Easter thing that was pretty amazing to have.
Mhm.
They weren't necessarily members of a committee.
Oh, but they were very helpful.
Well, they were volunteering and they weren't members.
And we were lucky to have them. Very lucky.
Okay.
All right. So I think any other business?
I think Vince has his hand up.
Oh, sorry. Oh, is that
Yep.
what that yellow thing is at the top?
Oh, there he is.
That's what that yellow thing is us poor people that have to use an iPhone, we don't have all the conveniences of having 12 people on their screen. Anyhow, I'm being sarcastic. You can all laugh now. Anyways, so I see the 1st is a Friday of July, so that's what we're going for. Yes, no, maybe, yeah,
For which?
For Canada Day?
yeah. For Canada Day, you're going on the Friday. You're not doing Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not your head up and down, Christy. Not back and forth. Thank you.
I'm
All right.
not even
Okay.
aware of my head moving.
Okay, so we're doing it first, And setup would be potentially on the Thursday or else for early Friday morning.
Yeah.
We may have to pick some of the stuff. Thank you, Christy.
Again,
may
I'm
have to-
assuming I'm the only one on your screen.
You got it, girl. You got it. So,
Yes.
all right. No, just when I'm talking to the president, I just, for the Civitan, I just want to make sure of all that. Okay.
Yes.
Nod your head up and down, Brandy. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. That's good.
Vince,
Yes.
the stuff that we get from Run Amok can be picked up Thursday after 4 o'clock.
Okay.
And it doesn't have to be returned until Saturday because Friday's a holiday.
Yeah.
So we would possibly be parking the dunk tank there Thursday night.
Okay. Just for curiosity, Maggie, which end of the city is this company at?
They're in Dunrobin.
They're in, okay. So they're up Constance Bay direction?
Yes.
Okay. All right. All right. So up by Carp and that direction. Okay. All right. It's just that once we get clarification from the Civitan, we get an email out and have a little get together just so we may need 2 vehicles, depending on what we're picking up, 2 vehicles or 3 vehicles to go and pick stuff up and be available to take that stuff back on Saturday. But there's one thing at a time. We'll get this organized.
Nod your head, Maggie. Nod your head, Maggie.
Don't feel funny.
and I'm assuming that we are going to get it from Run Amok. I don't know if we have to have 2 quotes and all that sort of stuff. Okay, yeah. The other one was by the airport someplace, but they don't have an awful lot.
Alrighty. Any other unfinished business? No, right on.
Yeah, I like that head going, bobbers.
Okay. So number 5, guess what is adjournment? So,
Would you guys say that Vince looks just as good on an iPhone or an iPad? Which one?
He always looks good, eh, Vince? Just nod your head.
Nod your head, Bill.
And by the way, I can't afford an iPhone. They're too expensive.
Oh gosh.
Just saying. All right.
So
I need a mover and a seconder, please, to confirm all the direction as agreed. So I get a mover. Okay, Jessica's moving it. Oh, wait, hold on, my pen just decided to. Jessica. And a seconder. Seconder. Oh, Katie. All right, moved by Jessica, second by Katie, that the Recreation Committee confirm all of the direction as agreed at the meeting of April 26, 2022, and forward that direction to council for final approval. All in agreement? Hands up. Alrighty. Next meeting will be, hold on, I gotta open up my calendar unless you had that date handy.
I wrote it down. It's on their thing for you.
Oh, you did. You're awesome. Christy, we just love you for it. If I could get a mover and a seconder, please, that this meeting will adjourn at 8:42. Mover, Jim? Seconder? Katie? I think it's those video things or whatever. Sometimes doesn't always show your hand. That's what it is. All right, so moved by Jim, second by Katie, that this meeting does now adjourn at 8:42 p.m. All carried? Awesome.
Until May 24th.
May 24th, 2022 at 8:42. All right. Thank you, everyone.